Hello, Sanjay Poonen here, COO of VMware. I have the privilege of talking to hundreds of CIOs every year. And often, when I tell the story of VMware and what we're focused on, either a customer or an employee says, hey, would you record that? In the case of a VMware employee, I'd love for them to be able to take my story and expand it and improve on it. Every story starts with sort of a once in the beginning, and then they lived happily ever after. And this is the story of VMware. Everything we do in infrastructure starts with applications. Our goal is to build infrastructure that makes applications run much better than ever before. And the more that we can allow our customers to be able to stare up at applications and focus on building and running them, as opposed to stare down at hardware infrastructure, the more we've done our job well. And how do we do that? By taking the elements of a data center and software defining them. That's been the core goal of our focus for the last 20 years across server, storage, and networking. A data center is sort of like baking a cake. You have flour, eggs, and sugar, and you put a layer of icing on top of that. In the same way, we focus on server, storage, networking with a layer of management on top of that. And we focused on making each of those driven through software so that you can reduce cost, complexity, and carbon. The economic value we have seen from investments in VMware is profound. Studies have shown that $1 invested in VMware has generated $10 of economic value in the data center. In each of those areas, server virtualization, storage virtualization, also known as hyperconverged, software-defined networking, or multi-cloud management, VMware is now the industry leader, bar none. But where is the future of the software-defined data center? It's headed often towards the cloud. And we call this world of cloud migration one that is best served with the type of technology we've built, that cloud foundation that runs on a data center, compute, storage, networking, and management, being able to be built inside the public cloud infrastructure. And that's what we've done, for example, with VMware Cloud and AWS. We built that same stack, compute, storage, networking, management, VMware Cloud Foundation, to run, for example, inside AWS. And every one of the public clouds now have embraced VMware, AWS, Azure, Google, IBM, Oracle, Alibaba, because they see us as the quintessential infrastructure for companies who are looking to seamlessly move their applications from one side of the data center, potentially the cloud, almost like a mobile home moving from one place to another place on a freeway called VMware. The other logical place where the data center is headed is towards edge computing. And we have just a similar proposition as the telco edge comes together for that cloud foundation to become the software-defined basis for the future world, for example, of 5G, working very well with some of our leading telcos. Now, while you've done cloud migration, in parallel or maybe in sequence, you got to modernize your applications because you want to take advantage of the new world of microservices and containers. And Kubernetes now has taken over that world. VMware has done the job of basically embracing that container movement and not making it one that's disjoint from virtual machines. With Tanzu, a new portfolio that comes in with the acquisition of Pivotal and rationalization of other assets of VMware, we believe we have the best container platform to sit on either side, either on top of the data center in the private cloud or on top of the public cloud, and even allow, for example, areas where you can manage it. We've got the full spectrum of build, run, and manage in that container platform. And if you have your Kubernetes clusters running in a data center, in edge computing, or in a cloud, we can even manage it with, for example, Tanzu Mission Control. We're taking capabilities of Tanzu and baking Kubernetes into vSphere, which will show up in a future release of vSphere. We call that Project Pacific. Now, once you've got your applications modernized, you also got to think about your people and your workplace, your end users. And what better way than to think about your users being modernized in a digital workplace where they can pick up a laptop, a tablet, or a phone and have the best consumer simple experience while also ensuring they're enterprise secure. Any app on any device. We've now become the undisputed leader in that category to allow customers the best employee experience, whether using an Apple device, iOS or Mac, a Google device, Android or Chrome, or a Microsoft device running Windows 10. Once you've got that, you also got to think invariably about security. And we are reshaping this industry of security as we think about everything from infrastructure, where we have control points like vSphere and NSX, or the endpoint where we have control points like Workspace ONE. And VMware's acquisition of Carbon Black our significant investment in NSX has created already a security portfolio that's $1 billion in revenue. Thousands of customers using us for network security, now for workload and endpoint security, tying into identity, cloud, and security analytics with all of the data and telemetry that's going to be collected from our infrastructure to endpoints, and we will reason over that data to provide you the best security from breaches. Phenomenal. These are the 5 areas VMware is focused on: the software-defined data center, cloud migrations, modernization of apps, the digital workplace, and intrinsic security. Now, you might ask yourself, how does this layer into what you've been seeing before? Quite simply, you take that VMware vision that you've seen from us over the last several years, and this diagram I showed sits right on top of that. You'll see these 5 priorities landing in that any cloud, any app, any device framework: a software-defined data center, a focus on cloud migrations or edge computing, modernized applications, digital workspace, and intrinsic security. So this, folks, just in a couple of minutes, is the way I tell the VMware story. I expect you to take it and improve on it. If you have 45 minutes, you'll of course go into deep dives in a particular couple of areas. But if you have only 2 or 3 minutes, you'll tell a subset of the story, hopefully. And I expect all of us to be able to take this and make it, as I like to say, Sesame Street simple. Because the more that you can make our story clear, crisp, and compelling to a customer, the more likely they will see us as a trusted advisor to help them in their digital transformation. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing you tell this story in your own words. Thank you.